people and Danny Dot followers. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Today it's not just a chat, you guys, it's a letter. A letter to the next version of yourselves, as I wrote one for me. You know, there's always one who's maybe more at peace, who's made some hard decisions, who laughs a little louder and cries a little softer and trusts herself just that little bit more. I'm using this episode today to pause and reflect and speak into who I'm becoming, and maybe in listening to mine, you'll feel inspired to write your own. So let's begin. Where did this all come from? I don't no, I'm joking. Of course, these things play on my mind, and I feel like there needs to be a little reminder, you know, writing a letter to the next version of yourself is going to be a powerful exercise in self-compassion, emotional clarity, and intentional growth. Letters act as emotional time capsules. They're reminders that your current self is rooting for your future self, even when things feel very uncertain. These letters not only help you reflect on lessons learned, they speak hope into your future. For myself, I've found that they anchor my self-worth outside productivity or perfection, and they offer some grace into myself as a transition. So I'm not gonna lie, the last couple of months have been like digging through trenches. It's been a nightmare, and I needed to have some self-worth, some self-respect, I don't even know. It just, I lost myself there for a moment, and it really irks me that I finished that 75 hard this time last year, was my absolute beaming self, a stunner of a human. Then I met this toxic mental disorder, feral male. Ugh, the negativity is just oozing out of me on this guy. I'm telling you now. But honestly, I need to find myself again. So I sat down with a bit of a notepad and paper on Sunday, and I deep dove, brain dump, whatever you want to call it, and just, well, no, actually, I think someone called it the other day a mind map. I don't know why, but yeah, so sometimes you just need a constant reminder as to why, you know, we're coming into the other 6 months of the year, and how you can be just that little bit more sparkly. It sounds terrible because we don't expect everyone to always show up, but if you've been through something for whatever reason, I want you to take today's episode and the letters that we're going to write as a reminder that we are amazing. So anyway, this is my letter to the next version of me. What that next version is, I don't actually know, but I'm just aware. So I wanted to wrap up all the good things about myself and make myself aware that I can get back there. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel as though I'm almost there. I'm not even like joking. It's been shit, but I feel like I've popped around a corner and I'm feeling good. So anyway, this is my letter. Dear me, I hope you're proud, not just of how far you've come, but the way you kept showing up even when it was heavy. I know you've had moments where you questioned everything, your worth, your path, your heart, but look at you now, braver, softer, more grounded. I hope you're waking up with far less fear and more clarity. I hope you've forgiven what's needed forgiving, especially within yourself. I hope love feels safe now, not like a battlefield you have to win. I hope you still dance alone in your kitchen, that you're still writing, dreaming, resting, becoming. And when life feels loud, I hope you remember, you are your own home. I'll keep walking us forward, you just keep shining. Love always, me. Pretty crazy. I know. No, I actually feel really proud of that, because I do need to be reminded that love is not meant to be a battlefield. And I feel really shit for myself to be putting myself through that. It's so bad to think back the toxics, like, it's just so bad. If I could rewind what I know now and just go back and just not be a part of what's just happened a year ago, man, it'd be different. Oh my God. I had this huge, powerful, like, financial success, and I put to the side my dreams of going on a singles vacation, a solo adventure, just because I kept thinking that this despicable piece of shit human was going to be the love of my life, and it just never eventuated. So I lost myself. I absolutely did. But I need to be reminded that, like, I am still going to dance alone in the kitchen. if any of you people that are listening to my podcast right now are my friends that see on social media, that is not a lie. There was a time there where I would always crank a song and post a TikTok recipe for what I'd be having for breakfast. And I'd be dancing in the kitchen. Now, in the past 6 months, I can't even count on one hand how many times I've turned the radio on. That noise I couldn't. I don't know what it was. It was like I lost my sparkle when it came to music. And I was struggling. So I still want to be writing in my gratitude journal. I still want to be dreaming. But there was that ick when you woke up and you thought, oh my God, it's another day being alone. But you know what? I was alone before all this happened and I was happy. So maybe love isn't for me. I don't know. But I'm not settling for any of this shit ever again. So let's build our bodies back into the home that we want them to be. I know for myself that I've let myself go a little bit. I have been turning up to scenarios that I just haven't enjoyed. I've been running away from certain house environments like parties and things where I just can't socialize. But I also know that you can't love somebody unless you love yourself. So right now I'm getting right back to basics. And I'm really excited for the next 6 months. So June through to December. It definitely is going to come fast. I understand that. It is literally on this week. June starts at the end of the week. And no, I just have this huge sparkle that I am going to turn back up for myself financially, health-wise, fitness. I'm going to do all the things that I love to do. And I'm really excited to do that. So I did have a couple of obvious other sort of letters if anyone wanted to be reminded as to why these letters matter. They are a reflection. They give you a moment to pause. You can take some inventory of your emotional life and process your whole journey so far. They give you direction. They help settle gentle intentions without pressure. Everyone knows I put so much pressure on myself, and I know that I do it. They bridge the connection for your past, present, and future selves with so much compassion and love. These letters are empowering. You become the voice of comfort and wisdom, even when you may have had to seek that from other people. So I did make one that was the grounded letter to myself. And it's kind of for everyone to just be reminded that it's a mid-year reset and to reflect. So this is for everyone, just in case you wanted to be reminded. Dear me, look how far you have come, not just what you've done, but who you've become. You're learning to rest without guilt, to say no without explanation, to want more without any shame. I hope you've kept your curiosity alive. I hope you still ask some good questions. I hope love feels spacious now, not like something you have to chase. You're not behind, you're blooming, and it's beautiful. Keep going. Love me. So, where are we at with everything that's gone on so far in the Danny Dot world? I'm not going to lie. I actually thought that maybe I might have to delay this episode today because yesterday, spontaneously, over the weekend, actually, my mum switched rooms into the spare room because she is moving into the Hanley house in 8 weeks. 8 weeks, you guys, we get the keys and mum's moving out. It's going to be hectic. So in that whole scenario, she was like, okay, I'll move into the spare room. You can move into the master in this house in Cromwell. And then we can maybe down the track get you a flatmate. Not for the rent. We're not bothered about the financial aspect here. Purely for the company, because if I live by myself, and let me tell you, I have not lived with flatmates for 12 plus years. I've always lived with my family or by myself. So this is going to be really unusual, but I actually know that I am a little bit of a unstructured lunatic when I live by myself. Not in a bad way, I'm just very considerate. So obviously, if I have a flatmate, then I'm not going to resort to a glass of wine and a cheese board for dinner every night. And, you know, I do work from home. So if I don't have someone in the house, it's a big bloody house. And so I'm a little bit scared because I'm like, okay, we're going to actually do interviews to see who wants to live with me. But yeah, I'm just really excited about this next stage in my life where I am going to go flatting again, and we are doing it for the fun side of it, not just, the last time I went flatting 12 plus years ago in Fernhill, Queenstown, not a word of a lie, I had 17 flatmates in 2.5 years. I learned so much about myself from these random people, but it's just going to be a really good adventure and I'm ready for it. So I moved half of my stuff into the master bedroom yesterday. Actually put my back out. I was crying. I was lying on the floor. I absolutely hated dismantling the bed. It wasn't until Mum came home and she was like trying to help me put my bed back together again that I was like, I'm never doing this again. And she says, no, I think what's going to happen is that you're going to actually end up buying a completely new bed and turfing this one, because it is an IKEA bed that takes a whole bunch of screws to put together. But once it's together, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But the actual frame of it, nightmare. Anyway, we are totally excited to have like a master suite with an ensuite. Like, I've had my own bedroom, bathroom situation for many, many years, but the actual walk-in wardrobe, bathroom, master, it's just like a whole different vibe. I actually feel really like weirded out by the fact that my mum is in the spare room because it's so little. I feel like she's camping. And I said to her, like, I feel like you're taking like a little bag to the bathroom because you're like flashing, and it's just I've never seen it. So it's so weird. It's only 8 more weeks though until she gets to go back to a master suite in a brand new home. So she's excited. Don't get me wrong. It's me. I'm just in my head a little bit about it. But yeah, she messaged this morning and she was like, how do you feel about sleeping in the bedroom? And I was like, I don't know how I feel. I felt like I didn't sleep at all because I was just like, why am I here? About 1.5 years ago, when my cat Saffy was still alive, I was staying in my mum's room just because that's where Saf used to sleep. And it brought back memories of when she was alive and how she would just sleep on mum's bed. But I was in my own bed and I had my kitten next to me, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is so not right. But also, using the ensuite as the bathroom and having all this like grown up stuff, like I just couldn't, my brain was just like an overdrive. It was the weirdest scenario. So yeah, that's happening. In the whole process of that, I've kind of switched bathrooms and I've moved half of my stuff into that bedroom. So I was panicking this morning thinking, holy shit, where's my podcast microphone? I meant to do an episode today. And I love doing things that are not too far in advance. So I always record the morning of posting the episode. So I panicked. And then I had 2 other big things happening at work, and I was like, I don't have time for this. I need to do my podcast for my people. So yeah, you can imagine there was a little bit of scrambling happening about 2 hours ago. But no, so that's happening. I got to really explain the fact that I feel like I'm having a bit of an out-of-body experience, because yesterday it was a year to the day since my brother came to me and said, hey, look, do you want to be an investor in an opportunity to build a house in Queenstown? And I was drunk off rum cocktails in Hawaii on a balcony thinking this was the phone call I never thought I'd ever have to answer. And now we're 8 weeks away from getting the keys, and I just thought, wow, the universe works in some really weird ways. So yeah, I do feel like I'm sort of not really... I'm not very present at the moment. That's a good way to put it. And like I said to a friend on Saturday, where I was just sort of mentioning I was looking for a flatmate, and he turned around and he says, yeah, I don't think it's for your routine, Danny. I think it's for the fact that you need structure. And I'm not even going to lie. I agree with that statement. I, of course, need structure. So maybe I will live in the house by myself for 4 weeks just before I get a flatmate to make some decisions and just see what it's like. I could end up doing this and it'd be fine, but I know deep down that I enjoy company too much. So yeah, let's roll on and see what I end up with as a flatmate, eh? Those stories on the podcast will be quite interesting. Mum was like, what if he works at night and sleeps during the day? I says, no, we can't do that. I have to record the pod and I don't want him overhearing it. If I haven't had you overhear it, I'm not going to have this new person. Anyway, the weekend just gone was relatively cruisy. I only went out Friday. It was my friend's birthday, so I managed to go around for a couple of drinks, which was really lovely. However, walking home at about 11 at night, there was a lot of people walking. I was like, is it not cold, or like what's going on? So yeah, we are coming into winter, and I am very excited just to buckle down for a couple of months. I've got some big things I'm doing on the back end here. So obviously building a house is the number one. I've got my podcast. I have successfully created a mystery Instagram page, which has, I think at last count, 14,000 followers. I'm going to get it up to 20,000 followers. None of my friends and family know it's me, which is random. And I am going to get it up to 20,000 followers, and then I'm doing the work. I'm not, this isn't the Danny.Instagram page, which I just sort of throw up what the episode's going to be and then walk away. I have been working a little bit here. So I'm going to get it up to 20,000, and then I'm going to start actually a Beacon store, a Shopify account, and actually have things that people can purchase, because there is a topic to this page, and I don't know, it just flew. People were interested in it, so whatever. And then I have got 3 other financial things I've got on the go. My brother, he gave me my birthday present the other day, which was wild, a couple of $1,000s. He told me he wanted me to book Thailand. So now I actually have like a list of places that I want to go, and I'm actually a little bit excited about it. So I haven't booked anything yet, and I know, like, don't even jump down the freaking microphone at me. I know I'm delaying things, but I just had a lot on, and I want to get excited about something, and I feel like I need to have a little bit more calmness in my life. And I think swapping bedrooms and making it all sort of about, being excited about being I rephrase that. I didn't know that I would be staying in Cromwell until just recently. And if you ask Mum, she would have said to me, Danny flips and flops around every hour about what she's going to end up doing. Is she going to stay in Cromwell, or is she going to move to Hanley? So the fact that I have said, yes, I'm staying in Cromwell, that has alleviated some of this shit from my brain. And obviously now I get to be excited about being away from Mum and Tom, and I can obviously go over to them and have dinners and stuff, and it's not so, I'm not 38 living at home or whatever. So that's freed up some space in my brain. I've got my cousin's wedding in August, so I'm very excited to see the family, and this is the last of the 3 that are brothers and sisters that all are going to be married, which is absolutely beautiful. But I talked to Mum about this on the weekend, and it makes sense because their parents are still together, and it's like not a broken family whatsoever. They are absolutely in love, so there's no questions about the kiddies all being in love and being in love very young. So I'm so excited to get back to Australia in August. But there's going to be a very small window there. So the last week of July we get the keys, and then the middle of August I'm in Australia. It is a one-way ticket at the moment, so I guess that sort of gives away a little bit of a sparkle. I don't have any return ideas at the moment. I am simply getting on the plane to go to my cousin's wedding, and then I have had a friend reach out and say that they would be in Vietnam if I wanted to visit, which is really nice. And I don't know, let's just see what happens. I actually have a couple of like fitness goals for the next 2.5 months, which obviously if that all works well, then I wouldn't be afraid to be seen on a beach in Thailand. And I want to make some money. I actually am going to spend the next 2.5 months putting together a bit of a plan to get really up there financially again, because last year I really nailed it in the first 6 months of the year. So I have absolutely got the tools to do it again, so I'm going to do it. And we'll just see what happens. So there's a few things on the go. I'll try and keep you all in line with everything, and we'll just see how it all pans out. But just off the bat of how these letters are, I'm going to pop it in the blurb of the Spotify if anyone wants to have a letter prompt to make them a little bit more aware of what they should write. These are just things that I've gone off the bat from. And I am really big on the whole gratitude journal and stuff. I feel like I haven't really been grateful about a few things, and it kind of shows. So I will be getting back into that. That's not a problem. Anyway, I feel like I'm going to make this a short podcast today just because who has the time? And it is just about letter writing, which you can't really deep dive on too much. And I actually haven't done too much to even talk about. So I wish to thank you all today for holding a wee space for my letter situation. Writing the next version of ourselves is powerful, but it is a reminder that healing isn't just about who we've been, it's about who we're becoming. If this sparked anything in you guys, take a few minutes today, write your own letter, speak kindly to your future self. And if you do, tag me, message me, share your moment. I'd love to see what your next chapter looks like. Until then, keep growing, keep being yourselves, and let's just share the love, eh? All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you again in a week. Bye.